This coin first listed on Coin Paprika on the 30th of November 2018, and it listed at a price of about 19 cents. That was the highest it went to. And then in around about July 2019, it shot up to about 38 cents. And in March of this year, 2020, when everything took a dip, when the lockdowns came in, it dipped to about 2.5 cents. But ever since then, it's been climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing, recently reaching a high of over 55 cents, coming back down to 27, 26 cents. And now, once again, at time of recording on Sunday, the 1st of November in the evening, it is over 35 cents. And hardly anybody knows about this project. And this project does completely magical things. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now, before I go into this, you know what to do. What should you do? You should subscribe. You should click the notification bell. You should click the like button. You should place a comment. Even if the comment is, I don't have a comment, please place that comment, because then I know you're there and that makes a difference to me. Plus, it helps me fight the shadow ban that I'm being subjected to by YouTube. You got to get right. My views are a quarter of what they used to be on average. A quarter of what they used to be. Thanks, YouTube. And feel free to come over to BitTube. You can earn tube coins for watching videos, for going on the internet. Link in the description below. You can also find me on Library and on BitChute. Follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT, and join my Telegram announcements channel. And if you're in any of the projects that I cover a lot, like this one, say hi to me in the Telegram group.
I want to keep to myself, especially when it comes to my personal data online. I really don't want any hacker snooping on me, so I use NordVPN.
All right, so what is this project? This project is Vericoin. I am grateful that I've been covering Vericoin since June 2018. And what I'm doing in this video is I'm reposting an interview, I think possibly my first interview with Michael Toutonghi, recorded in June 2018. What we're talking about is how with Vericoin, you can mine on a CPU as powerfully or as effectively as you can on a GPU, and Vericoin is ASIC resistant. Now, what that does is that makes Vericoin incredibly decentralized. I'm mining and staking Vericoin on a spare laptop that I have, and it's working out really well. And I invite you to do so as well, because what that does, it lowers the threshold, the level at which people can enter and earn and start earning this coin. Now, this coin is just the most incredible, unbelievable, magical DeFi project going, and hardly anybody knows about it. So what can this do? Well, you can have reserve currencies on this. They're building technology that will allow you to wrap Bitcoin, ETH, and ERC20 tokens on the Verus blockchain. You can also launch your own blockchains. It has privacy features using ZK snarks, and it has a way of creating identities that allow you to keep your crypto assets safe and secure using very simple terms that you can use. There's no organization behind it. It's completely decentralized, fair launch, no dev fund, no pre-mine, nothing like that. And anybody can get involved just by getting involved and contributing whatever they've got to contribute to. Now, the interview that follows could be really useful for people who are new to Vericoin. They want to know a little bit about the beginnings, and it could also be useful to people who've been in this project for a while now, so they learn about the beginnings and they can see how it's grown and developed. Why I'm posting it is because YouTube gave me strikes on 2 occasions, in June 2019 and again in December 2019, January 2020. And as a consequence, they deleted 160 of my videos, including videos that were private or unlisted. So one of the things that I did is I took all my videos off. I just took everything off my channel and I restarted again once the strike was over in January. And now I have this really brutal shadow ban. And I just thought, well, maybe I should upload this video for people in the Vericoin community to find out how this project has grown and will prosper. This project, Vericoin, does things that I don't think any other blockchain does. It's part of the Komodo ecosystem, and they've developed technologies that has been exported by consent to the Komodo ecosystem and other Komodo asset chains. And I'm proud and grateful to be part of the community. I hope you enjoy the rest of this interview. And please comment, share, like, spread the word. Help me fight the YouTube shadow ban and help the Vericoin communities that people discover the magic that is Verus.
Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto. And I have with me Michael Toutonghi with something incredibly breakthrough for the world of crypto. And when he told me this, I said, look, how can you do that? How is that even possible? But anyway, we're going to find out in a moment. I want to let you know this. None of this is an investment advice. Do your own due diligence. Don't invest any more than you're willing to lose. Having said that, there is minimal investment required with this project, Vericoin. I want to let you know this video was pre-recorded on Tuesday the 26th of June. It's 6 a.m. in the morning where I am in Pakistan, and it's already 33 degrees. On its way to 42 degrees. And by the time this does get posted, I'll be back in the UK, and this video will be published at 8 a.m. a few days later. Michael and I will work that out. All right, and Michael is on West Coast time, in the Pacific Standard Time, Pacific Summer Time in the United States. Michael, good morning and good evening.
Good morning, Rich, and yeah, good evening.
Yeah, Michael, can you speak up a little bit, please, or move a little bit closer to the microphone?
Sure. Yeah, I have never been told that I speak quietly, but I'll make sure to.
Well, you got to get from the Pacific to the Punjab.
My voice.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
All right. Now, we're going to, Michael, you are the lead developer of Vericoin. I'm just going to introduce this briefly. You worked for Microsoft, and also you were the chief technical officer for Parallels, which is the company that allows people to put Windows operating system on their Mac computers. Yes?
That's good.
And
they do other things, they actually did other things as well, but absolutely, that's correct.
Yeah. And then you're the chief technical, no, you're the lead developer. Michael keeps reminding me, I'm not the CEO for Vericoin, I'm not the CEO, right? We don't have a CEO, it's a community project. So you're the lead developer for Vericoin. Now Vericoin, I was thinking about this, right? So I'm gonna summarize it, and then you tell me if there's anything important I've missed out. So one is, I've got the website up here, vericoin.io. It is 50 proof of work and proof of stake and delegated proof of work. So you've got to run a computer program to keep the transactions going. It can be staked at the same time, and it has delegated proof of work, which means that it's an asset on the Komodo blockchain, and the hashes are timestamped back to the Komodo blockchain, and those Komodo blockchain is timestamped to the Bitcoin blockchain, which makes it, you just need enough computing power to do a 51% attack on the Bitcoin blockchain and the Komodo blockchain and the Vericoin blockchain all at the same time. So it's virtually impossible for anybody currently to do a 51% attack. It's CPU mineable, which means that I could run it on my little Mac Air, my 2014 Mac Air, and it's ASIC resistant. So you're not going to have centralization of mining power, because there's something in the news recently about Bitmain are close to 51% of Bitcoin hashing algorithm with all their ASIC miners, right? So this will stay distributed, and it was launched on May the 21st.
That's correct. I do want to say one thing about the ASIC resistant. We don't have ASICs now.
Yes.
But we're of the opinion that, if it becomes economically feasible, just about any algorithm can have an ASIC made for it. So our focus is more on the decentralization, on, making sure that CPUs can compete with other mining systems. And then, we do expect that there will be GPUs actually fairly soon. We're probably going to talk a little bit about that. But on ASIC resistant, at some point, someone is most likely going to make ASICs at some point. We're not there now, and that's a great thing. And when we do get there, our commitment is really to work as part of the community to make sure that we have ASICs available to everyone for as low a price as possible, so that if they would like to mine, they can participate.
Yeah, very good, thank you. And then the other thing about it is that this is a privacy coin with ZK snarks, so zero knowledge, and then I forget what the snark stands for.
It means really private. It's
really private.
ZK, it means succinct, non-interactive arguments of knowledge, and I think it's a lot of times you probably think about what you want to call it in order to come up with a nice acronym that sounds nice. Yeah. So ZK snarks are basically one of a couple of the latest types of cryptographic technology for privacy, where you provably do not expose information that you don't want to expose through that technique.
Great. Okay. And then for people to mine it, it's pretty simple. you download the Agama wallet off the Vericoin website. Make sure that you're going to the correct website, which is veruscoin.io, HTTPS at the front. Check the certificate, like I'm doing now. You don't want to go to any sort of phishing website and have your private key information stolen. So make sure you've done that. I can't change that. Oh well, never mind. That will stay. Then you pretty much download it through the Agama wallet off the website. It's pretty simple. I have been mining it the last few days. It's got a 1-minute block time. The transaction time, I don't remember. It's pretty fast, but it hasn't arrived yet. And it's not on any exchanges because people are still mining it. And my hashing power is 0.7, and I have earned no Vericoin so far. Partly it's because I've been for days, I've not been able to run my computer because I've not had any Wi-Fi. So we shall see.
Well, and also right now, the hash rate on the network is actually incredibly high.
Yeah.
I think you might be able to dismiss it with that okay. The hash rate on the network is incredibly high, and 0.7, I think you'd be looking at about, maybe almost a couple weeks on an average basis to get a block, which right now the blocks are quite huge. They're actually 384 coins, and that's about to change. We've got about, as of the recording of this, I think by the time it's released, we might be past. They're about to go to 192.
Oh my God.
So we've got another month of that, and I'm going to talk about a way to get much higher hash power. But the good news is that your 0.7 right now.
No, hold on. We're going to come to that in a moment. We're going to save the best till last, all right? Because Michael is going to tell us something that really isn't possible. Okay, and I am going to say to him, but how is that even possible? But now, just so it's really clear to everybody, right, how mining works. So with coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Vericoin, which are proof of work coins, the computer runs an algorithm, a calculation, a very complex calculation. Every now and then, the computer gets the right answer, and that creates a coin. Now, the difficulty of the calculation rises over time and requires more and more computing power, and less coins are released over time. That's written into the algorithm because there's this halving. Is that right? And the
both of these are true, and I think it might be useful to explain they're separate as well. So
right.
the fact that coins are released at a certain schedule is independent of the difficulty of mining the coins. So the way that it works is you mentioned that there's a 1-minute block time on the blockchain.
Yeah.
And if there are more people or more computers mining the coins, then the difficulty will automatically go up. The network will see that the coins are being mined maybe a little too fast, and the difficulty will go up so that the coins are mined on that 1 minute on average block time. And if the coins are being mined too slowly, then the difficulty will drop in order for those coins to be mined again on that 1 minute block time. So the difficulty of the network really just depends on what's the hash power of the network. Typically, how many people or how many computers and how fast each of those computers are will determine the difficulty for any one of them.
Okay, all right.
So
this thing, the hash is like a amount of information that the algorithm calculates. I've never quite understood it. What is that?
The easiest way to think about it is a hash is basically like, it's not really a random number because it's very deterministic. You put the same input, the same block with the same information in, and if it's got all the same information in, you're always going to get the same number out.
Mm-hmm.
But that number would never be the same for any other block or any other blocks, that might be modified with any information. It will always be different. And you can never actually guess how different it will be. It will just be different, and it will look to you as if it's random. And so you could really think of a hash as kind of like a rolling of the dice, because that's really what's happening. The hash is coming out, and as a miner, your software is trying to change that little bit of information slightly each time.
Mm.
Check this hash that comes out, which nobody can predict, against another target number. And if it is under that number, then you now qualify to win the block. And if it's above that number, you don't. And the number, the target, is made more and more difficult, meaning there would be fewer and fewer chances that you could ever get below that number as it gets more difficult. And it would be easier and easier to get below that number as it gets less difficult. So when you hash, you could be doing 1 million or 1 billion hash functions, and those hash functions each time would be compared to this target. And if you're under it, you win the block. And so on average, based on all of the people mining and all of the computers mining, the algorithm tries to maintain the chance that someone in the world will get one correct answer every minute.
Okay. Now, I have to be honest, Michael. I don't have to be, but I will, right? A lot of what you said didn't make sense to me, right? I'm so sorry, right? And why that is I'm really great at the large ideas, right? When it comes to detail, the room starts spinning, right? So me personally, I'm going to go back and listen to that bit again, right? Which is one reason why I'm not a coder.
Let's replace that with you're rolling the dice and you'll have a chance to win.
Right.
That's basically what this function is.
Yeah, and it might be, let's say we've got, that's very good. I like that analogy. I'll pretend it's mine. So imagine there's 100 people all over the world who are rolling the dice of this particular algorithm, and every minute, one roll is going to come up with the right combination, the right hash for a block.
On average, yes.
On average, okay, very good. And then we might come we might come to a point where we have 1,000 people all over the world rolling this dice, and on average, one of those dice will come out with the right combination every minute, on average.
Right.
Very good. Okay. And then the other thing about VRSCoin is that it is a community coin. It's designed to be decentralized and disruptive. You're not doing an ICO. All anybody has to do is go to the links in the description below. Or actually, at the end of the video, they should click on the link and they should watch my previous video about how to mine this coin, how to set it up. And it's all really, really simple. You download the wallet for Linux or Windows or Mac and follow the instructions, and off you go with magic privacy coins dropping into your wallet over time. And I don't know, I looked a few days ago, the coins are not on exchange. They're currently being traded on the Discord channel for between $3, $5, $8 or something.
Rich, I'm really sorry. Can I actually ask you to pause for 1 second?
Sure.
Because my dog is barking.
Do you want me to stop recording? All right, we're back. We had a slight technical canine hitch. There was Michael's dog was barking some hashes, some random numbers, so he had to attend to that. All right. So what was I saying, Michael? That it's all anybody needs to do is follow the instructions on the video or on the Bitcoin Talk page #1 about how to mine the coin, and they start getting it. It's currently being traded for about $3, $5, $8 on the Discord channel. If you do get some coins because you're mining it, and you do a trade with somebody else privately, do be careful. It's on your own risk, your own cognizance. There's no getting your money back if it goes wrong or whatever, right?
It will be on an exchange probably within about a week to a week and a half.
Great. All right. Very good. All right, Michael, I think we've covered the basics. Is there anything that people need to know about the coin before you tell me something that's happening with this coin that isn't even possible?
Well, I think you've said much of it. It would be nice if someone's interested that they take a look at the white paper and they take a look at the vision paper. But I think you've covered the basics. And as far as the trading side of it, you mentioned we're not doing an ICO. Every single coin that anyone has of Veris has been mined. The coins that we have, the coins anyone has. So mined or actually won via proof of stake, but originally from mining.
Yeah.
So there's, the only people who are actually trading it right now are doing so just by making agreements and doing it over the counter. But we will be on an exchange, digitalprice.io, in about a week to a week and a half.
Okay, great.
So essentially, I covered everything, and maybe you let me know when we should talk about it.
All right. So I said earlier that this coin is CPU mineable. Now, a CPU is the processor in a laptop that runs the operations, like the engine. Now, if my analogies fall apart, then please do step in, right? So a CPU is the engine that runs the processes and everything, and does all the calculations as I'm running the computer. A GPU is more powerful and is typically used for gaming computers. Like if I wanted to play World of Warcraft or whatever it is that people play nowadays, right? I'd have a GPU miner, and then you have ASIC rigs, which don't even look like computers really. They're just really powerful processors, and you need to have fans and keep them cool, and they cost I don't know how many thousands of dollars to get Bitcoin. That's for a mining operation. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Well, yes, everything you said correct. The ASICs, maybe it would be useful for people to think of them as, instead of running a software program, someone has taken that software program and just turned it into hardware that simply is absolutely designed just to do that thing. And so ASICs tend to be the fastest of any of them on a particular task.
Yeah. And then the history of Bitcoin is that it was once CPU mineable right at the beginning, when there were, I don't know how many thousands were available that you were getting through mining. And then somebody invented a GPU miner, which meant the CPUs fell by the wayside because they weren't getting any blocks because the GPUs were fast, doing the algorithm faster. And then but now you can't even mine it on GPU because you just get nothing, pretty much, right? So now it's ASIC mining, and then Vericoin is designed. The algorithm is designed on its own hashing algorithm, VRSC, that it can't be GPU mined and it can't be ASIC mined currently because it's within its intention to be decentralized and available to all.
True. The only reason that it can't be at first, the only reason that it couldn't be, is because.
Sorry, Michael, could you move closer to the microphone, please?
Yeah. The only reason that it could not be at first is that it was our algorithm that leverages CPU instructions that are very highly integrated, and no one had actually written a GPU miner for it when we released it because it's a new hash algorithm, and it was designed to be as fast as possible on CPUs. In fact, we do use a core that was developed to be a quantum secure, very fast short input hash function, and that core is then used through the whole hash function as a way to ensure that we have the cryptographic properties we want, but also that core is the absolute fastest short input hash function available on CPUs because it maximally leverages the highly integrated CPU instructions as well.
Okay.
So if there is an algorithm that will remain CPU mineable even as GPUs are written to support that algorithm, this should be that algorithm. We don't yet, as of this recording, have GPUs that are mining. We don't have fully written GPU miners, but I have been talking to someone who's working on one, and based on the current algorithm that is being used as of this recording, it looks like it's going to beat CPUs, that it should be able to beat CPUs when it comes out. And this person is working closely with us, and they fully intend to make this open source and available, is my understanding. But at the same time, in looking at what they're doing, we came up with a very radical optimization.
Okay.
That is intended to make CPUs.
Now hold on. Before we come to that radical optimization, let me break this down for myself and non-technical viewers, right? So, somebody's working on the GPU mineable algorithm currently, and right now it's only being mined on CPU.
That we know of, correct? That
we know of, right? And the whole thing is that the code is open source, so anybody can go in, have a look, which in a way makes it more secure because anybody can check, makes it more secure, more democratic, transparent, right? They're going to make.
Sure.
Let's say they go ahead and they're able to create a GPU mineable VRSC algorithm. What that will mean is my 0.7 hash that my Mac Air was churning out is going to be overtaken because the GPU will be able to do, I don't know how many hashes or something. It'll just be more faster and more powerful.
We still don't know. Like the indications that we're seeing is that the GPU will be faster, but we still don't know that it's going to be so much faster as to make CPU mining not worth it even now.
Right, but they will have an advantage.
It will have an advantage, and because it looks like it is going to end up being faster enough so that so this person is doing a great job, and they're doing as well as they can to make it as fast as possible. Well, if someone else comes along, you know how these things go. Someone's going to come along, they could improve on that, they could improve on that, and so my view is let's advantage. This was the original plan. Let's advantage the CPU as much as it can possibly be advantaged, so that CPUs can remain relevant for as long as possible. And that's, I think, what we're going to talk about.
Yes. Okay. So how are you going to advantage CPUs over GPUs?
Okay, good. So now I get. So the release that will be available by the time this video is out is actually taking a little bit of a different approach to hashing. And this approach to hashing is something that was possible, but no one has used. And I say no one has used, except just as we were working on doing this, a single person discovered, this actually happens to be the same person who is working on the GPU miner. So a single person, to our knowledge, and in fact we know that it's the only person who's actually done it, discovered this and mined one block in this way. So
on a CPU.
They mined one block, and in order to test that it really could work, and I was not online when they were talking to one other person who I absolutely trust about this in a conversation, and I got online and I said, "Oh, you mined one block. We were going to wait until we release," but they said, "No problem. We will put this on the side, and for the community's sake, let's do it all fairly when we release." So what we will have done when this video is released is we will have released a version that increases the mining hash rate for VRSC mining by about 20 times. And we're going to make that available to the entire community. No one is going to be using that to mine in secret. This will increase the hash rate more than we expect GPU miners to be able to increase the hash rate. And more importantly, what it's going to do is it's going to further advantage CPUs relative to GPUs. So because what we're doing is we're eliminating all of the overhead necessary except for these, as little overhead as possible except for these highly integrated and highly specialized instructions, which are effectively like little ASICs inside the CPU. We are now, with this approach, able to achieve on a fast CPU somewhere on the order of 200 to 250 megahash per second. And this is actually, at this point, leveraging as close to the raw Baraka core as possible. It's basically, we can say definitively, this is the fastest cryptocurrency hash algorithm on CPUs today, because effectively at the very core of this, it ends up being about exactly the same speed as the Baraka core, even though it's fully compatible with VRSC hash from the beginning of the network. So what this will... Go ahead.
I wanted to ask you, so let me get this right. So what you're saying is this new algorithm, which isn't live at the time of recording, which will be live when we release this, because we're going to work this out. You're going to tell me when to make this live.
We don't want to tell anyone until we tell everyone.
That's right. Yeah, that this will make CPU mining faster than GPU mining, so that my 0.7 that I'm getting on my computer will be 14 all of a sudden, just because of the change of the algorithm, roughly.
Yes, that's about. It should be around 14 or 15. But I want to be careful about saying it's going to be faster than GPU mining,
right? Because
we still don't know that. It'll be faster than GPU miners that are running today,
okay,
for sure, if they are running. So it'll immediately cause GPUs to be faster than GPUs. But when someone implements this exact approach on a GPU, I don't know. If I'm confident that many GPUs will not be able to beat CPUs, but I also think that there are likely to be GPUs that will still be better than CPUs, and the question is really by how much.
Okay.
But
I think I have a metaphor. Right? So if we consider CPUs as bicycles,
yes.
and then you got cars as GPUs, and then you got fast motorbikes, superbikes, stripped down much faster than the cars as the ASICs. So you're saying that this bicycle would be able to go faster currently than any car that's available using this algorithm change?
That would be the immediate effect.
Yeah. Sorry,
But
Michael,
then-
speak up a bit, please.
That would be the immediate effect. But then, when someone updates their GPU mining to be, the same approach that we're taking here, they will get faster. But what we've done by doing this is we've necessarily made it so that the copying of information back and forth between the CPU and the GPU in just the time it takes to copy, it's about 10 microseconds to copy from a CPU to a GPU, and then 10 microseconds to copy back. And in just that 20 microseconds, a fast CPU will be able to do 4,000 to 5,000 hashes in just that 10 microseconds. So that amount of time is overhead that you cannot take away from a GPU miner. And the idea here is to leverage the strengths of the CPU as much as is absolutely possible. That's exactly what we're doing. So we can say definitively this is as fast as you can get right now today with state-of-the-art on CPUs. And we are on a GPU, you're going to have the overhead of transfer. And if there is an algorithm that can stay competitive on CPUs, this will be it.
That's extraordinary. How is that even possible, Michael? for CPU mining, for a bicycle to go faster than a car. How can you do that, right? And then my supplementary question.
Intel and AMD, I got to say, because they've done a lot of work investing into making these instructions fast. So,
right.
And I don't claim yet until we have people who are out there with the fastest GPU miners that they can have, and we really know what the numbers are, then I'm only going to say that we're doing the absolute best that is possible today to make these CPUs as hard to beat as they can possibly be.
Wow. So it might take a Lambo to beat the bicycle.
It might. This is true.
Okay. All right. And then that's just incredible, because one of the things it says to me is how much this space is evolving and how creative this space is. It also tells me what a complete genius and computer whiz you are, and this other person is, to be working on all this, right? Because I couldn't, right? And I, by the way, if you're watching this, I did say to Michael offline that I've interviewed the guy who invented the timestamp on blockchain, and he published the white paper like 8-9 years before Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper, and Satoshi Nakamoto referenced this guy's white paper a couple of times in his own white paper, and timestamping meant that you couldn't duplicate it. And then I've also interviewed the guy who invented XBRL, and now you invented a guy who makes a bicycle go faster than a car in the world of cryptography. That's just extraordinary. Now, is it possible, and maybe it is theoretically, right, because who knows what's possible, that somebody could learn something from this algorithm? Because once it's launched, I understand it's going to be open source, so somebody from some other coin elsewhere could come and have a look at the code. It might trigger some thinking over there with them, and they'll then be able to accelerate the coin that they're working on, so that CPUs for that coin are on a par or significantly faster than they are currently, that it becomes viable for CPU mining because you're getting as good as or better than you would with GPU mining.
So absolutely, someone could take the hash function code that we've got and put that onto another coin. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Someone could take the code that we have and adapt that to another coin. But here's the challenge. You mentioned at the beginning, Bitcoin started without ASIC mining, and they were CPU mineable. So we started with this brand new hash function that leveraged CPUs to the maximum, and we've been CPU mineable. Now we're really seeing that point where GPUs are just, we think, if someone has a GPU, they've got a GPU in secret. If haven't seen evidence of that, but we do know that someone who's working in the open is very close to having one. And so even if someone adapts this to another chain, then it's going to be much closer than it was that someone would be able to, potentially move to GPU mining. But what we'll find out soon, because now that when this video is released, we're going to have this extremely fast version of this algorithm out there running. So we'll find out very soon if we expect GPUs to be either too fast to make CPUs really competitive, or just another way to mine. And I'm cautiously optimistic that GPUs will be fast, but some will be slower than CPUs, some will be faster than CPUs, and that they should hopefully be on kind of similar orders of magnitude and all just different ways to mine. That's what we're really hopeful of, because that would be maximum decentralization.
Wow. That's just incredible. And I'm just thinking how this could potentially be a paradigm shift in the world of blockchain. Not necessarily in human existence, not yet, right? But it's like there are paradigm shifts that open up whole new worlds of possibility.
There's always something that's going to come, and I think what you're saying, we had a chance to start fresh. We've had a lot of CPU mining. We've had a lot of people really enjoying it, and we intend to keep that going as long as we can. But at some point, I think every algorithm is probably going to have to reckon with ASIC miners when the economics of their blockchain become enough to provide reasons for someone to put that investment in.
Yeah.
So there will be a time when we will face that as every other algorithm, and rather than forcing hard forks on our community, we really are thinking more that by the time that comes, we would like to be ready with open source ASIC miners available to everyone in the community. That would be our goal. So I feel that calling it a paradigm shift, although it would be very nice to accept that.
Well, maybe a little paradigm shift. The idea that CPUs can be as efficient or more efficient than GPUs, right? That's just incredible.
Okay, so this is you're right about.
And then the natural corollary of that it could be even possible that that this is transferable to other coins, but also that somebody could start looking at, okay, well, let me see if I can make the GPU algorithm as fast as or faster than the current ASIC algorithm for a particular coin. Who knows?
That nothing's impossible.
Nothing is impossible.
Here's the problem. As soon as you take any combination of software and hardware that's solving an algorithm, and that combination of software and hardware is fast, then someone else can come along and say, I'm going to take that software, I'm going to eliminate it, and now it's all in hardware and it all just happens at once, basically. And so no matter what you do, a CPU is more general purpose than a GPU is more general purpose than an ASIC. And when you get more and more specialized, it usually comes with speed.
Right.
The advantage we have right now is that the CPUs are highly specialized in these cryptographic instructions that we are leveraging to the maximum. So, can a GPU really beat that significantly with this new approach? We would want to find out, and we're going to try to do it ourselves, but so far we don't know that that's possible, and I'm cautiously optimistic that this puts CPUs and GPUs in kind of the same range for mining.
That's incredible. Okay, all right. So then, let's say I want to ask you two questions on the current, as we're recording this, on the current algorithm, and then also on the new algorithm, which will be launched same time as this video is published, right?
And just to be clear, these are actually variations of the same, so they are not incompatible.
Okay. Is it going to impair performance? Because this is my computer that I use all the time. I'm not currently running the wallet, but let's say when I'm recording a video, is my computer still going to be able to do that? Or will there be lags and stuff?
It won't change the performance of your computer over any Verus mining today. And today, I typically have my notebook mining, and I'm using it. In fact, I think it's mining right now. And I'm on it right now. So I if you really want to do something that takes a lot of power and you really want to have the maximum power on something else, then you might want to turn off mining. But I usually keep it running, and we seem to be pretty friendly with other experiences at the same time. The more you use the computer, it will slightly impact your hash rate, of course.
Right. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Thank you for that. And then, what are the implications of this change that this new algorithm? What are the larger implications? What are the implications of Vericoin?
Yeah. What are the I think there's one really important implication that I'd like to get across, and I know it's later in the discussion, but this is something I hope that people understand. This is a 20 some odd times increase in power of every mining machine, and our goal is to get this out to the community at the same time, so that no one, not us, no one, is able to leverage this ability and mine, a lot of coins, like mine in secret for, months or years, but even for like days before people have a chance to upgrade and use it. So our intention, we've had this running and working on getting ready for release, and we have not had it touching the public blockchain. And the way that people can tell is if a solution, and this is one of the parts of a block, if a solution is 0, then this approach has not been used to mine that block. So the way that people can verify that this kind of a miner was not hidden and secretly mining, lots and lots of coins, is to simply look. And the fact is that the solutions in the blocks on the chain right now, all except one, and that's one that someone else did, and someone else who, they figured it out. They figured it out fairly and squarely. They did it, and yet they still decided, just by being asked, to wait for the release for the community, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, so that's incredible. That says something about the whole ethos of Vericoin, that it is a community privacy coin. So
yeah,
please give my regards to that person, and thank you.
I will do. Thank you.
Or her.
I will do. Yeah, it happens to be him.
Okay.
Her, but it happens. So then the other thing that this release will immediately give everyone who upgrades about a 20 times boost in hash power. That means if you're one of the first people to upgrade, then you're gonna have a little advantage for some hours, maybe up to, as everybody is just upgrading. And it means that the hash rate of the network is going to go up significantly, and it means also that we get to claim definitively that we do, not just what we think we do, but we actually really do have the fastest cryptocurrency hash algorithm on CPUs in the world. So we will see how this goes when it comes to the GPU, and we're working on, the best way we believe to test this is to try and beat it. So there is somebody who is working on that, and they're working on trying to beat it. They're doing it openly with us. I actually said, do you want me to let people know who you are and that you're working on it? And he said, well, I'd rather work on it, get it to be, what I can make it, before having people really feeling that I need to get it out sooner and sooner. So I think he wants to make sure it's right versus that he gets it out quickly, but he's working to get it out as soon as he can and correct.
Okay, very good, very good. And then, does this mean that people will get more coins quicker? Like, once this is launched and I run this on my computer, will I be getting more coins quicker, please? I've not had any so far.
Actually, so in order for it to be fair, what it really means is that we're going to announce it.
Yep.
And when we announce it, the people who upgrade first, we can't stop. We can't determine the order that people will upgrade.
Sure.
And so, actually, by the time this is released, we've announced it. We are not going to use this type of miner ourselves on our systems until it's available to the community. And so, our goal is that really the community will be made known of its availability, and I would have to say that we would expect to release it. Well, actually, this video will be out by the time it's released.
Yeah.
So
My question is,
if you upgrade earlier.
no, I'm not saying about upgrading earlier. I'm not saying about upgrading earlier. Once it's public.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
If you upgrade earlier than other people, no one's going to be upgrading once it's public because
I'm not. Sorry, Michael, I wasn't clear. I don't mean that. I mean once it's public, whoever we announce it. You announce it. It's public to everybody all at the same time. Nobody had a head start, like you said earlier, doing it secretly. You can always check by looking on the Block Explorer, right? But once it's public, and then I install the new Agama wallet, or however it is that I get the new algorithm, can I then expect that I'll get more coins quicker, faster?
If you do it soon, you would have a better chance of getting more coins until everybody else upgrades, and then it'll be the same.
Right. Okay. But then for everybody, will the coins...
What's that?
Okay, now wait a minute. So then we might have, say, 10,000 people rolling the dice, and still every minute it'll be this certain number of coins being released.
Right. So most likely what's going to happen is our hash rate's going to go significantly up on the entire network. People will be upgrading, and I would think people will want to upgrade as soon as they can, because this is a huge increase in hash power, and then the network would go up in hash power, and then the balance across people would be similar. But if someone did happen to be mining on GPUs, they likely won't be doing quite as well relative to everyone else on CPUs anymore.
Wow. Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to be publicly available and to start mining
I can't
this.
either.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see.
That's right. Now, I want to give a disclaimer. I want to give a disclaimer to people, right? But this is a different kind of disclaimer. So about doing your own due diligence. This isn't a sponsored video, by the way, right? I on my channel, I do sponsored videos and I do non-sponsored videos. This one's not sponsored. Michael contacted me, and actually, no, I came through Komodo. Talked to Michael. We got on. Thought, yep, this sounds like a great project. Let's do it. So, what you're required to, if you wanted to get involved in Vericoin, there'll be all the links in the description below. There's no money required of you. You don't have to buy any specialist computing equipment. You can use the equipment that you've got. You're going to get a coin for free. This coin may fail, or it may not.
Fail.
It
Fail.
may.
You mean that you will be able to earn coins just by mining, but you might not get them? Is that what you mean?
No, what I mean is that the coin may not take a grip. It might go the way of, say, Feathercoin or Peercoin. Okay,
got it.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the risk. It'll languish at the bottom of Coin Market Cap. But thanks for asking. So that was clear for everybody, right? It might languish at the bottom of Coin Market Cap at number.
I hope. Yes.
We hope not 1,500, right? But you haven't invested anything. You don't need to buy. Nobody's asking you for any money, right? It doesn't take a lot of technical information. It's a really high quality privacy coin that's open source, community led. Obviously, right, there are incredible risks involved in this one. I mean, to me, this is just like a no-brainer.
Well, maybe not for mining it, actually. I mean, if you, as with any cryptocurrency, if you want to buy it, then there are the normal risks. But if you want to mine it,
yeah, to me, this is just a no-brainer, right? It really is. Now, is there anything you want to let people know? Any final words or whatever before we finish up?
Really, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody upgrade and use this, and happy mining.
Yes, and we'll have all the relevant links in the description below. I really, really appreciate it. And then, Michael, just so you know, I haven't said this to you before, right? You will be back on the Crypto Rich channel, right? You will be back. Yes, that I'm gonna write that into a new algorithm, right?
Okay.
Right? Because it's been really, really great talking to you. And for everybody else, if you're watching this, have you been mining Vericoin? How's it been going? And then also, what do you think are the implications of a CPU being as efficient or more efficient than a GPU? Or put another way, a bicycle being as fast or faster than a car, right? And just let everybody know, while Vericoin is proof of work and proof of stake and delay proof of work, my channel runs on proof of comment and proof of like. So please click the like button. There's also proof of subscription as well, proof of notification, right? So if you could please provide comments to keep the channel going. People have no idea, Michael, what a difference it makes to me when I get a video with loads of comments. It really makes a difference.
I don't want to share this because I want everyone to understand the details here. And thanks for taking the time to help people understand what's happening on this. I really appreciate it.
Not at all. And thanks for being so gracious with me and giving me this world exclusive.
Thank you.
All right. All the best, everybody. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.